to another episode of The Lofty Lender with Tall Money Man. Today, I've got a special guest. I've got Traci Jennings with RE/MAX. Traci is a real estate powerhouse with a teamwork mentality and strong work ethic cultivated during her upbringing on a large dairy farm in eastern Iowa. An Iowa State University graduate, Traci has called Central Iowa home for over 30 years. Alongside her husband, Bill, she is the broker-owner of RE/MAX Real Estate Center and leads the Jennings Real Estate Team, the top-selling team in the area. Known for her integrity, hard work, and exceptional service, Traci has consistently ranked among the top realtors in Central Iowa and has extensive expertise in new construction homes. Actively involved in leadership roles in the Central Iowa Board of Realtors, Traci strives to improve the industry. Her dedication is recognized by the prestigious Diamond Award from RE/MAX, placing her in the top 1% of agents worldwide. I saw that and I was amazed. Way to go.
Hey, thank you.
Beyond her professional achievements, Traci is a devoted parent to 3 children, Ellie, Abigail, and Jake, and enjoys traveling, staying fit, attending ISU Cyclone games, and spending time with family. With her in-depth knowledge and genuine care, Traci is committed to making her clients' real estate dreams a reality. Welcome to the show, Traci.
Thank you very much. That was a nice introduction. Thanks.
So everybody that's listened to this show once before knows that I love AI because I talk about it probably every single time. And I took your bio, which was, I think maybe, 14, 15 paragraphs, something like that. It's massive out there. And I threw it in ChatGPT and said, make this a little smaller so I can read it in less than 20 minutes because I'm a slow reader.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. So business and beyond, getting right into it.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. What's your story?
Well, as you said, I went to Iowa State University. I got into real estate. Actually, my husband was in real estate first. And I got into real estate, honestly, because he had a previous buyer's agent and she sucked. She just wasn't doing very well and he needed some assistance. So I said, hey, I'm going to get into real estate. I'll help you out. I still had the 3 kids at home. I wasn't really intending on having it be a full-time thing. I started about 15 hours a week and I got into it and it didn't take me very long to recognize that I was actually a really good real estate agent. And my business our business together was growing and growing and growing. I've been in the real estate industry 17 years. I've sold thousands of houses, got into new construction actually 10 years ago. The builder that I represent is Happy Homes out of Ankeny. I've sold hundreds of houses for them over the years and love that side of things. I actually absolutely love when people come to me and say, well, we want to build a house, but we're overwhelmed by the process. So I will take them through, I've taken them buyers through where we've actually sketched kind of a floor plan on a napkin and, then we've taken it from there. And then a lot of times people will find plans that they like online or on the Happy Homes website. So I have a lot of experience with new construction. So I joined my husband 17 years ago. We bought RE/MAX Real Estate Center 14 years ago. That same year I got my broker license. And we started the brokerage, RE/MAX Real Estate Center. We were the 3rd owners of the brokerage. So RE/MAX Real Estate Center in Ames, which is on the corner of South 16th and Duff Avenue, that office was the very first RE/MAX office in the state of Iowa, started in 1985. We bought it. There were 12 real estate agents in the brokerage, and in the Ames area, our brokerage was one of the smaller ones. Bill and I took ownership, and one of our missions, one of our visions and our missions, I guess you could say combined, was to become the #1 real estate brokerage in the city of Ames and to create a work environment that people love to come to work to every single day. It's very important for me if I'm going to spend the amount of time that I do working, that I love the environment that I go to. And so for me, if the people that we cultivate, the real estate agents that we cultivate in our brokerage and also on my team, those are people that we want to work with. We don't just take anybody. We've turned people away that we felt like were not the right fit. Or maybe they were going to be, chit-chatty, behind people's backs, something like that. We just want to make sure that we have a really great group of people, and I think we've done a really great job at that. We surpassed all other brokerages in Ames. I want to say it was 5 years ago. So as a brokerage, we've been the #1 Central Iowa Board of Real Estate brokerage, not by a small amount, but by a lot. about 5 years ago. So we're the number one real estate brokerage on the Central Iowa Board of Realtors, which is actually the Ames MLS. I am also on the Des Moines MLS. So I've been working both markets for about 14 years. I think I joined the Des Moines MLS 14 years ago. So fast forward, my husband and I started with him 17 years ago. And about 10 years ago, our team, the Jennings real estate team, took the number one spot as far as the number of houses and the volume that we sell on the Central Iowa Board of Real Estate, which is so amazing. I mean, honestly, people say, well, what is it that you do? And I'll be honest with you, Kyle, I usually tell people, I'm like, I honestly, I don't know for sure. I pick up my phone. I treat people the way that they would want to be treated. I work my ass off. I'm not going to lie. I work my butt off. But I'm really passionate about what it is that I do. I have a degree in marketing from Iowa State, graphic design and marketing. So I've had kind of a skill set for raising the bar for marketing, not only our team, but people's homes. And I think that sellers have recognized that if they want top-notch marketing, they go to the Jennings real estate team. My daughter, Ellie, was one. I did have a buyer's agent years ago. She ended up going elsewhere. So Ellie and Tyler Wilson, two buyer's agents that I have, they joined my team. Ellie was 18. She's my daughter, my oldest daughter. She's 25 now. She joined my real estate team when she was 18. My daughter Abigail joined when she was 18 as well. So they've been in the business with me now for, Ellie's been in 7 years. Abigail 4 or 5. Tyler, I think, has been with me, I want to say 5 or 6 years. And then also I have another buyer's agent, Jen Nelson. So I've grown quite a team. And I'll be honest with you, I know a lot of real estate team leaders that have built a team. People will come to me and say, well, when do you know is the right time to build the team? And I want to build the team. A lot of people say, I want to build the team. And I will always tell them, Kyle, that building a team you don't just decide one day, okay, I'm going to build a team and then the business just comes. I have only added team members to my team when I had leads to give them. When my business gets to a point where I can't give my client the type of service that they deserve and that is important for me, is when I know it's time to bring another buyer's agent or another agent onto my team. So my team has grown. Bill kind of has taken ownership of being the broker owner of the office. And because as a married couple, we were trying to do both for quite a while. We were both managing the office. We were both selling real estate. And to be completely honest with you, we were kind of stepping on top of one another. And we said, you know what, for the sake of our marriage, let's set some boundaries and some roles. He became the broker owner of the office, and then I became the team leader of the Jennings real estate team. Let me think what else. Wow. So we have a full-time marketing director and a full-time transaction coordinator. Yeah, it's great. I love selling real estate. I'm super passionate. Every team member that I have on my team, all the agents, are doing amazing and incredible things. We're a powerhouse. We're a powerhouse team and have incredible clients. And obviously, I'm forever grateful for the people who choose to work with us.
That's awesome. Well, first off, congratulations.
Thanks.
Secondly, I think you must have seen my notes or something. I don't think I actually even sent you my questions, but it feels like you already had it in front of you because you answered about 15 of them that I was planning to ask right there. So that's great. Thank you. What challenges do you face right now on the daily basis that maybe the average agent isn't facing right now?
That's a good question. So what are we facing that maybe the average agent doesn't face? I'll be honest, I don't know that I personally am facing anything that other agents aren't facing. I definitely am never one of those people that says, oh, I have bigger issues than other people, or we're going through battles that other people are not going through. I think honestly, the real estate for many people is very similar. I think we're all trying to figure out all the new National Association of Real Estate rules, the buyer agency agreements. That's new for me, and the new conversations. I'll be honest with you, I think that we've already lost one client because they didn't understand why the hell they needed to sign that buyer agency agreement. So that's going to be difficult, not just for my team, but for all the agents, trying to work through how are we navigating through those new documents. Even the listing contract is the Iowa Association of Realtors listing contract that we started using a few weeks ago is new. It went from 2 pages to 5. It's cumbersome. It's got things in there that, what am I supposed to put in here? And so it's just a matter of learning new things and taking on the new challenge, roll with punches. Real estate, when people ask me, I think I want to become a real estate agent because I like houses. I always tell them, do not get into real estate because you like houses. Like, you've got to like people, but you've got to have thick skin. This is absolutely not an easy business. You lose deals, you work your ass off and things fall apart. And you don't get paid a dime until that thing closes. So if your buyer changes their mind, or your buyer goes out and buys a washing machine and accidentally, not knowing, opens up a credit card at Best Buy to buy their washer and dryer, the deal doesn't close, you get paid nothing. And it can be very stressful. Interest rates right now are definitely making it as more challenging than it was a couple of years ago, for sure.
Absolutely. Yep, and they're getting better though, right? I mean, by the time your episode comes out, hopefully they're down in the 4s. We'll see. I don't know. I don't expect that, but we can always hope.
It would be nice. I never wanted to say that I'm going to project what interest rates are going to do. I think my first house I bought, I want to say it was in 1996. It was right after Bill and I got married. I paid $113,000 for that house. It was just west of the Iowa State football stadium. I paid 8.25% interest. And I specifically remember my dad telling me that is an amazing interest rate. And I also remember a couple years into selling real estate, I had a gentleman that got a loan, and it was at 6.75%. And I remember sitting at the closing table with him and going, yeah, that's an awesome interest rate. So honestly, they seem high right now, but I'm going to be honest, the history of over time, they're not bad. And I'll be honest with you, Kyle, I don't see them going down to 4. I think, if you want to buy a house, buckle up and pay the interest rate.
Yep. Well, and to that point, I did see a stat the other day, and of course I had to use AI to fact check it and help me out. But I think it was back in the 90s, the average household income was like $40,000, and the average purchase price was around $120,000. So it was about 4 times your household income. And housing prices obviously have increased substantially compared to that, whereas income really hasn't. And so I do see that as a struggle, with the rates being higher, they're not as bad as they used to be. However, home prices are so much higher now too. So I definitely can feel bad and feel sorry for some people, but at the same time, eventually you just can't feel sorry anymore, and you got to move on. You can't feel sorry for yourself. You got to try to find a house and build the equity.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
So you mentioned that you have 4 buyer's agents. I
do.
have met agents who have 15 people in their office all working for them, and they're not achieving the success that you have.
Okay, what was that? What was that again?
So you said you have 4 buyer's agents, so it's you and your 4 agents.
Yeah.
And I've met groups out there that have 15 agents on their team.
Yeah.
That are not as successful as how you made your team become.
Yeah.
Do you attribute that to your training program? I mean, did you sit down and say, hey, you guys are going to watch every single thing I do, and you're going to do exactly the way I do it? Did you attribute it to your processes and systems in place? Do you have a transaction coordinator that's always been there, that one person that's just taking care of everything? Like, what's that look like for you?
Okay. That's a great question. So, I've got 4 other agents on my team and also my husband. Actually 5, because my daughter Ellie brought in a buyer's agent specifically for herself. So we've got a team within a team. Here's what I would say. I think, as I mentioned before, there are people that say, I want to build this big team, and they kind of run their team like a real estate broker would do. You know, and my husband and I, we also own the brokerage, right? So if someone comes to us and they say, I want to get my real estate license, and I want to hang my license at your brokerage, they will, you know, we will interview them. And if we think that they're the right fit, we'll say, well, yeah, we'll give them a shot. But it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be able to be successful, right? They're going to have to do the work, et cetera. We've got a training program through the brokerage, but they're not always successful. On my team, I have built my team only when I'm able to provide leads for them. And I think other team members or other team leaders bring on anybody and everybody. They're just like, we'll just keep adding people to the team. And they're not helping them. Like they literally are not providing leads for them. They say they're providing leads. They may be like, hey, they scrubbed some phone number from a hit on Facebook, and you'd call them and the people would say, we just wanted to look at the pictures of the house. Like we have no interest in buying or selling right now. So I think that is a big part of it. Number two, I mean, both of my girls, Ellie and Abigail, they've shadowed me since they were little. I took them to open houses when they were, I mean, just little kids, and they listened to so many conversations while my husband and I had on the phone when we were in the car. Like we'd be on vacation and we'd be, you know, negotiating a deal, and they were sitting in the back seat. So I think that was part of it. Tyler Wilson, for example, Tyler came in from another brokerage, and he was in our brokerage as a single agent. And then I just adore Tyler. I think he's got a great personality. He's just one of those people that I enjoy being around. And I think he just needed a little extra and a little extra help as far as leads go. And he came in the team and just took off. I mean, I think things just kind of started ticking. I'll be honest with you, I do not have a single video that people end up watching. We do meet. I have great systems in place, but I do not hold their hand. And you bring on the right people and make sure that they're going to be self-motivated. As a team leader, I think there are other team leaders that are like, you are going to come in the office every morning and you're going to be there at 8 and you're going to call these 50 people. And you know what, Kyle, the fact of the matter is I haven't done any of that, but I have allowed them all to be able to market themselves as individuals on their own social media platforms. And there isn't hardly anybody in central Iowa that has a real estate license that does not know who my girls are. I mean, they are absolutely freaking killing it on social media, generating a lot of their own leads. And so I'm actually just, you know, now I'm giving them the support team, my transaction coordinator and my marketing director to assist them. So I've developed the systems and we encourage each other. We're always happy for one another. But there are other team leaders that have better systems than I do. And they are more like, you're going to do this and you're going to do this and you're going to do this. My whole rule of thumb is when you come onto my team, I'm going to try to help you with some leads. I'm going to give you 50% and you're going to self-generate 50%. You're going to market your own business, and I'm going to give you resources and tools to communicate with your past clients. And it just has worked. It's just worked. They're great people.
Love it. That's awesome. Yeah, and you know you're killing it in social media when you have spoof accounts. I actually had a spoof account.
When we have what?
Spoof accounts. So like Ellie had
yes.
a spoof account, add me on
yes.
TikTok or something, and start sending me messages, and they were just odd, right? And so I knew it wasn't right. So then I went and looked, and there was an extra N thrown into Jennings, and I didn't even notice. And then I was like, this is just weird. Okay, block.
Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe it's down now, but it might still even be up there. We've reported it multiple times, but. Yeah, our Instagram account things just happen. It's crazy. It's difficult to protect your social media platforms when you do become successful and you get a lot of followers. You are a target. You have a target on your back for sure.
Yep. So how do you unwind from a busy day in real estate?
Oh boy. Well, I would say family has always come first for me. I've never missed my son just graduated from high school, so we're going to soon be empty nesters. But as far as unwinding, I think it coming home and making dinner for the family, attending the kids' school events. Although I was super busy in real estate, I never missed one of their school events. I never missed a concert. I was there for them, and that was super important to me. I always told people, my clients, if I'm not the right agent for you because I do have a family and I do have things that I'm going to go to, that's okay. I'm not going to be for everybody. And so as far as unwinding, I really think it's just a matter of coming home where I feel comfortable and safe. I do live out in the country, so it's pretty peaceful out here. Sometimes I love to take walks. Normally those are in the morning, but I take walks and I listen to the birds, and sometimes I don't even put headphones in. I just try to chill out and relax. But usually I make dinner for the family, and then I end up with the computer back on my lap at working till 10:30, but not always. I just like what I do. So
awesome. All right, well, getting into a quick pick segment, I want to get to know you a little bit more. This is a this or that type of segment. You just tell me the first thing that comes to mind, A or B. If you want to explain on any of them, you're welcome to do so, and we'll get right through these. So first one up is new construction or historic homes?
New construction.
City living or country living?
Ooh, that depends on the person. For me personally, country living.
Favorite real estate app or tool?
Favorite real estate app, Showing Time.
Anything that's kind of out there or unique, or even just an app that you really like that's maybe not necessarily real estate?
I'll be completely honest with you. I'm not super techie. As far as apps go, there isn't necessarily a certain app that I'm like, ooh, I love this app for this or that. I think that, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, those are the apps that we use for marketing reasons. I've got a CRM that I use that's called Lofty. That's been good. I've switched my CRMs around a couple different times. Probably should use my CRM more than I do. But I'm really kind of and I wouldn't say an old fashioned, but I'm a heart to heart person. I pick up the phone for people, personal relationships, and I don't rely on a lot of tech to do my business.
Cool. Well, and I love the name of the CRM, considering my my podcast name. So I'm here for sponsorship. No, I'm kidding. It's fine.
Yeah.
Home office or traditional office?
Traditional office.
Favorite season to sell homes?
Favorite season to sell homes? I'm going to have to go with the spring. The obvious answer
is anytime. Okay.
The spring, yeah.
The obvious answer is everybody just says, well, I'll always sell a home. Well, I understand that, but you got to have a season. That's awesome. Preferred method of communication with clients? Is it just picking up the phone? Is it text messages? Is it
text and phone? I hate email. I actually don't mind. I mean, email there's a place and time for it, absolutely, for sure. But for me, I tell people, if you send me a really important email, please send me a text and say, I sent you an email. I'm a real estate agent. The only way that I am selling houses is if I'm out with people. And if I'm out with people and I am with my client, that means I am not looking at my emails. So yeah, phone and text for sure. But a good phone conversation, unfortunately, people don't do that enough. And that means that we're not getting to know our clients nearly as well as we used to. So, I think you can make your clients better clients for the future, more referrals, et cetera, if you pick up the phone and you actually have conversation.
I totally agree. Make as many calls as I can every week. I absolutely agree with that one. Most memorable home you've ever sold?
Oh boy, I have sold a lot of houses. So, probably the most memorable one. There was actually two. Most memorable house, probably for me, the one that I laugh about the most often, was a home in Boone County that I sold to my friends Eric and Melanie, oh gosh, over 10 years ago. And when I made the offer, when we made the offer, the real estate, we couldn't quite tell where the lot lines were. It was a rural property. It was I think like an acre and a half. And from what I could tell, I was like, I can't tell where the lot lines are. So we put in the offer that the listing agent and the seller was needed to have the property surveyed to show us where those lot lines were. And a couple days prior to closing, the agent didn't have that done. She was kind of blowing us off, Kyle. I think she just thought that it was going to close without us doing that. So we show up for the final walkthrough and we're really looking at the lot lines. And I finally told the agent, we are not closing until you figure out where those lot lines are. Well, we found out that the lot line was right dead smack in the middle of the house. So the person who built that house was the original developer of the development, and they read the front pin wrong. It was on a cul-de-sac. And so their house was halfway over on the lot next door. The lot next door was vacant. I mean, nobody had built there yet. So long story short, the seller had to resurvey the entire thing, and my clients ended up with about another half an acre as part of their lot. But that was memorable because, I mean, you don't show up on the day of closing and find out, oh shit, the lot line is right dead smack in the middle of the house. So, yeah, that was interesting. That same buyer, there was another transaction, the other transaction that they had in Story City. We showed up for the final walkthrough and there was a bat in the house, and that was an interesting scenario too. So
entertaining for sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Your favorite real estate book?
My favorite real estate book. Honestly, it's such a simple one, but it's called Exactly What to Say for real estate. And it was, let me think of the authors here. Not going to be able to think of the authors right now. But anyway, that's my favorite. It's actually a very thin book. Little practices on just different wording that you can use in conversations to get people to say yes.
Morning person or night owl?
I'm a morning person.
Favorite place to travel?
Hawaii.
Any specific island?
Maui.
Have you
I've been there
several
a few times? Yeah.
Awesome. My sister lives there. It's great.
Your sister lives in Maui?
Yeah. Yeah, she had a 22-year-old midlife crisis and sold everything that she owns, including her car, her clothes, her bed, everything. Moved down to Maui. They lived in Kihei, South Kihei.
Yeah, and, Kihei. Kihei is near where we stay. We stay in Wailea, but Wailea is just east, I guess, of Kihei.
She actually works at the Grand Wailea Hotel.
Oh my gosh. Yep, but we were there in January.
Awesome. Yep.
Next time I go, I'll have to look her up.
Yeah, let me know. She looks totally different than me. She's adopted from South Korea, so I'm 6'10" and she's 5'2", so it's hilarious.
Okay.
Dream car.
Dream car. Oh geez, I'm not really a car person, to be completely honest. I'll pass on that one.
Fair. Favorite ice cream flavor?
Anything with Heath toffee in it or peanut butter.
Yum. Best way to start the day?
Best way to start a day with a pre-workout drink before my workout.
Most rewarding part of your job?
Most rewarding part of my job. I'll be honest, probably the most rewarding part of my job is developing a team that includes my girls. And my son is going to get licensed at some point. Within the next 12 months, he will be licensed and on the team as well. So we'll have the whole family on the team. So I've got to go with that. That's the best.
What better? Yeah, no kidding. So he has to do it by the time before he turns 19 though, right? Because your daughters both did it at 18. So he's
actually 19 already. He turned 19 in June. So he's behind the 8 ball. I don't know. He's got to get his butt moving. No, he's a very successful entrepreneur. He's got a lot of other things going on. So
awesome. All right, getting into our last segment here, which is the trending topic. You've already kind of talked about this to an extent, but if there's anything you want to add about it, feel free to. But what unique challenges and advantages have you experienced while growing your real estate team with your family involved? And
Can you repeat that again? I'm sorry. My husband just walked in the house and he's making some noise in the kitchen. Sorry.
You're fine. What unique challenges and advantages have you experienced while growing your real estate team with your family involved? And how do you ensure that professional and personal boundaries are maintained effectively?
Well, I think challenge-wise, I think it's just a matter with building a family, building the team, the family team is my number one challenge I think has been my staffing. Finding the right people. I've got right now, I have two, like I said, transaction coordinator and marketing director, and they are rock stars. The people that I have right now, rock stars. And so to keep them happy and make sure that they can grow professionally in the business, honestly, when they first started, they were just doing services for me. And as the team grows, being able to provide services for the other team members, it's been challenging. Like, what are they going to do and how are they going to help? For example, Tyler likes to manage some of his own transactions a little bit more than I do, like after it's under contract. So he wants a little bit more control. I give my transaction coordinator a lot more control. So figuring out what does each team member want from services and what do they need has been one of my challenges. The other part of that was what? The successes?
How do you keep everything personal versus professional? Like, do you guys talk about work at home or how's that work out?
We do. I mean, we try not to talk about work, but honestly, we do. We talk about it way more than we probably should. I can't say that we have perfect boundaries on that, but to make it even worse, my sister sells real estate in Marietta, Georgia. My husband's sister is the #1 real estate agent in the state of Nebraska. My dad was a real estate broker. We are a real estate family, so we enjoy talking about it, but it's not like we talk about it nonstop and constantly. We have other things in our lives that make us tick. So
awesome. Yeah, it's funny that you say that you didn't think you were ever going to get into real estate, and then you got your license when you just mentioned now that your dad was a real estate broker. So you were already growing up in it. You knew what was going on.
Yeah. My dad, honestly, my dad got his license in 1979. I grew up on a dairy farm in eastern Iowa, and he sold 99% of what he sold was farm ground. And in the 80s, there was a farming crisis. So interest rates were like 18%. It was crazy. So farmers were losing their farms because they couldn't afford to make their payments. And so he sold primarily farms and farm ground. So honestly, he never once, not one single time that he ever talked to me about getting into real estate. I got into real estate because Bill got into real estate and he needed help. So, and it was a good fit. It's a great fit for me.
Well, that's apparent because you guys are crushing it. So thank you. Thank you for joining us today. If anyone out there listening feels like they've learned something today, if you feel like you have any questions about happy homes, I'm sure Traci would love to answer those, or even just about new construction in general and want to sit down and get a napkin out and start drawing up a new house. I'm sure Traci would love to do that. But Traci, how do people get a hold of you if they want to do that?
Well, best thing to get a hold of me, you can call me. My phone number is 515-291-8720. Obviously, I'm on Instagram and Facebook. I don't really keep my accounts private. So best way to get a hold of me personally, find Traci Jennings, Traci with an I, and just hit me up in social media. You can always message the Jennings real estate team as well. I have my own personal accounts, and then we have the Jennings real estate team account. So, but I'm pretty accessible. You can find me online. Just look me up. Give me a shout. I'll promise to get in touch with you in a short fashion.
And I can attest to that. You were right away answering the phone call when I called you, and you had no idea who I was, and you've been super easy to get a hold of, which is amazing considering how successful you've been. So that's awesome.
Well, thank you.
Anyways, thank you again so much. It was great having you on the show today. For all those out there, make sure you hit the subscribe button, follow us on social media, and stay tuned. And as always, if you enjoyed this show, please leave us a review and share it with your friends. Your support means the world to us and helps us bring more exciting guests. Thanks for listening, and until next time, stay curious, and we'll see you next week on The Lofty Lender.
See you later.